parents. Oh, hope you're doing well. It's been a pretty rainy day today, and I know that we've really been home a lot of days now, so I'm sure some of you are starting to wonder, what can I do with my kids while we're home during this time? So I just wanted to kind of take some opportunities to offer simple activities that parents can utilize at home to encourage engagement and play with your children that also leads to a lot of learning. I think that there is a misconception that there's not much purpose that comes out of play, and that's really not true at all. And I just really want to emphasize that while you are home with your children, I think it's important to first and foremost support their well-being, but I wanted to offer some ideas of how you can be intentional to engage in activity with them that enhances their learning and while also supporting their well-being by taking the time to be with them. So I am going to continue to offer simple ideas of activities that you can implement with them at home, and my goal is to have everyday items that are readily available to you, and just give a few suggestions of how you can engage them and encourage particular learning with them. So today I have some objects already placed out here. I have some containers that vary in size and in the manner that they open. So some are a twist top, others are a flip top, and then there are also a few open and closed snap-on lids. So those are just recycled materials from my home. If you don't have those, I think it would be appropriate to improvise with possibly various size bowls or Tupperware containers, sand buckets, just anything big enough that you can utilize to explore whatever gathered objects it is that you're able to collect to utilize at home for engaging with these materials. So we have our containers. We have some different tools in here that are going to be utilized with our objects that we're implementing with. So I have tongs, I have some measuring cups, I have measuring spoons, I have a large spoon, and then I have this little basket holder here that was just something that I found in my children's toy collection, so I'm utilizing that. And then I have a variety of blocks here that vary in color and shape and size that are foam. And I have some small wooden beads. These bring up an important safety concern if you are getting ready to engage with toddlers or younger infants. It's a good gauge to think of a 2-liter bottle, and any material that can go into that 2-liter bottle could be a possible choking hazard. So with my youngest learners, I probably would not implement these wooden beads, but there are other materials you could use. And the last item I have is a collection of surprise egg animals that my kids have because they enjoy those way too much. So I gathered these because I thought that they would foster good conversation about science and social studies. So identifying animals and the sounds that they make, being intentional about talking about their habitats, having the vocabulary of just identifying what animal it is. So this is again very open-ended, so I think you use what you have access to. Some other ideas I thought of were rocks. A lot of people have rock collection, various kinds of blocks. I was thinking about pretend foods such as fruits and veggies, and those would also encourage classification skills. Small matchbox cars, a lot of people have many of those. Pom-poms, another small thing that has color and can encourage picking them up. So it's up to you to decide and gather what you have available, but this is what I found. And I was trying to be intentional about in the way that I laid it out. I have them placed on a soft blanket as a very defined play space. I think it is okay to set up the parameters that the materials need to stay on this space, which is physically defined by the rug, and children can certainly move away if maybe you possibly know what their plan is, but in order to maintain monitoring of the materials as well as implementation, and also for them to learn some boundaries. I think that having a play space is an okay expectation. So now using these materials, we often talk about having an invitation to play and setting them up in a manner that encourages open-ended exploration. So as you have these materials out, you have them set up, and it would then be time for them to kind of come over and maybe have the baskets laid out, so it kind of provokes their thinking and curiosity. Children are naturally young investigators, so I think just having these readily available in a space such as this in defined containers is a great way to encourage that. I feel like also clear containers where they can kind of take a look in there but not know necessarily what it is by glance is a great way too. So I have these materials out and available. Some of our youngest learners, right, they might really be engaged with just simply the challenge of opening and closing the lids. For toddlers, that really is a challenge in itself, and just exploring the differences in them, some of them with the flip top and others with the twisting motion. That's really a challenging fine motor task for them. So, you know, maybe as they approach these materials, they might only be interested in that, and I would just encourage you to let them be the initial navigators of this activity and follow their cues as you are working with them. But as they do begin to explore, I would encourage you to use what we call descriptive language while working with them. So that is being intentional to have conversations and defining and describing what they are doing. So talking to them about that, and then as they get deeper into their explorations, you can kind of guide their learning and their development by presenting challenges to them as they play with these materials. You don't want to do it so much so that they become frustrated and you're interrupting their play, but I think you can be supportive and enhancing their play by following their lead and seeing where it takes them, and then kind of building on that and pushing them up to that next step, scaffolding that learning. So as they are opening up these containers, if they're successful, maybe you could encourage them to see how many objects will fit in this container. So maybe for the younger ones, it might be enough just picking up the beads and placing them in here. But for maybe some of those older learners who are developing a more higher level of fine motor skill, you might encourage them to use the tongs to start picking the beads up. Some of them may be ready to work on counting, while others, that beginning math skill of counting and gathering objects is really just picking them up and getting more than 3 at a time. So I think it's up to you to know kind of if your child is happy or if they need a little more, and I would never underestimate the power of simple exploration and play with these materials, but you can certainly foster a higher level of learning while you engage and interact with them. So I would love to see if any of you take these suggestions and types of materials and encourage your own play in your homes. I want you to know that I think about you every day and miss you all very much, and I will continue to offer some more ideas such as these ones, and I hope that you are able to utilize them at home and kind of keep them busy and occupied, as our day-to-day has certainly changed rapidly. So take care, stay healthy, and have fun while you play. Thank you.